Milo sat in the senior leadership meeting, his first one, the room full of people who'd been doing this job for a decade. He'd prepared for 3 days, read every document, rehearsed his points.
Milo, you've been looking at the performance metrics. What's your take on the database optimization issue?
This was Milo's specialty. He'd solved this exact problem at his last company. He knew the answer, but the words wouldn't come. What if I'm wrong? What if they realize I don't belong here? Milo thought to himself. 5 seconds of silence, then 10.
I can take this one.
Milo had the answers, but Imposter Syndrome had his voice. In this episode, you'll watch Milo battle the voice that tells him he's a fraud and discover the exact moment he realizes that feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you are. This is how Imposter Syndrome works and how Milo finally silenced it. This is Milo's story, but if you've ever felt like you don't deserve your success, it's yours too.
Four weeks ago, Milo had gotten the promotion he'd been working toward for 2 years. Milo's first reaction was joy, pride, validation. He'd earned this. 3 years of late nights, complex projects, and mentoring junior engineers. The data backed it up. His performance reviews were excellent. His projects shipped on time. His code was clean. Then Monday came. His first day as a senior engineer. And the voice started. Everyone around him had master's degrees from Stanford, MIT, Carnegie Mellon. 10, 15 years of experience, patents, published papers. Milo had a bachelor's degree from a state school, 5 years of experience. No patents, no papers.
The current solution is unstable.
We need to re-architect. This won't scale.
Why haven't we addressed this?
The voice got louder.
Milo started staying late, not because he had more work, but because he needed to prove he belonged. A task that used to take him 2 hours now took 6. He triple-checked everything, researched solutions he already knew. If he was going to be exposed as a fraud, he'd at least delay it as long as possible.
So I implemented the caching layer using Redis, which reduced query time by 60%. Nice work! Though you could optimize further by implementing lazy loading on the cache aside pattern, specifically ensuring that you only populate the cache on a cache miss to avoid unnecessary memory overhead from infrequently accessed data.
Milo heard, "You did it wrong. You're not good enough." What was actually said, "Good work. Here's an advanced technique for next time." But to Milo, every suggestion felt like proof. Proof that he didn't know enough, wasn't smart enough, didn't belong. Over the next few weeks, the patterns escalated. Incident 1, architecture discussion. Milo had an idea, a good one. He'd used this exact pattern at his last job. It had saved the company thousands in server costs. What if they think it's obvious? What if it's a stupid suggestion and they laugh? He thought to himself. What if we implement a microservices architecture here? Milo's idea, someone else's credit, because Milo was too afraid to speak. Incident 2, project leadership opportunity.
Milo, I want you to lead the API redesign. It's critical for Q2. You'd be the perfect person.
Lead? Me? What if I fail? What if I make a mistake and everyone sees I'm not qualified? Milo thought to himself.
I think Sarah would be better for this. She has more experience with APIs. Sarah's good, but you're the one who built our entire authentication system. This is your wheelhouse. I think Sarah should get the opportunity.
Milo turned down the career-making project, not because he couldn't do it, because he was terrified of being exposed.
Milo, you turned down the API project? That's exactly what you've been wanting.
I can't lead that. Everyone on the senior team is smarter than me. They'll realize I don't know what I'm doing.
Milo, you literally built the authentication system they use every day.
That was different. I had help. This time I'd be leading and I'd mess it up, and everyone would finally realize I've just been Googling syntax and over-engineering simple solutions to hide the fact that I have no idea what I'm actually doing.
Stop. Listen to yourself. You're acting like you faked your way into this job. You earned it.
Everyone else has better credentials, better education, more experience. I'm the least qualified person in that room.
You keep comparing your insides to everyone else's outsides. You see their accomplishments, not their doubts. I guarantee they feel like imposters too sometimes.
I don't think so. They all seem so confident.
Milo, talk to someone. A therapist, a mentor. Because you're gonna sabotage your own career if you keep this up.
Imposter syndrome, the fraud feeling. Imposter syndrome is the persistent belief that you're a fraud, despite evidence of competence. Common signs: attributing success to luck, not skill. Overworking to compensate for perceived inadequacy. Refusing opportunities, fear of being exposed. Comparing your weaknesses to others' strengths. Believing others are naturally smarter, better. Dismissing compliments. They're just being nice. Who gets imposter syndrome? High achievers? Minorities in their field? People in new roles?
You feel like an imposter precisely because you care about doing well. Key truth: feeling like a fraud doesn't mean you are one. It means you're challenging yourself. Milo reached out to Marcus, a senior engineer who'd mentored him 3 years ago.
I feel like they're gonna realize I'm not actually good enough for this role. Everyone else is so much more qualified.
Milo, can I tell you something? I've been a principal engineer for 8 years. I still sometimes feel like I'm faking it.
You? But you're brilliant. You speak at conferences. And every time I'm about to go on stage, there's a voice that says, they're gonna figure out you don't know as much as they think. That voice never fully goes away. The difference is, I stopped believing it. Let me ask you something. When you were a junior engineer, did you feel confident? I mean, yeah. I knew I was learning, but I felt like I was getting better. And now you're a senior engineer, surrounded by people with more experience, and you feel incompetent? That's not evidence you're failing. That's evidence you're growing. You leveled up. The new environment feels uncomfortable because you're challenging yourself. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean you're an imposter. It usually means the opposite. You're competent enough to recognize how much you still have to learn. Actual frauds don't doubt themselves. Here's what I wish someone had told me earlier. Your job isn't to be the smartest person in the room. It's to contribute your unique perspective and skills. You don't have a Stanford degree, but you have battle-tested experience solving real problems. That's worth more than any credential.
The imposter cycle. New challenge or achievement. Then anxiety or doubt. I can't do this. Then over-preparation or procrastination. Then success despite doubts. Then relief, but dismissing success. I just got lucky. Then next challenge, and the cycle repeats. Breaking the cycle. Acknowledge the pattern. You've succeeded before.
Separate feelings from facts.
Feeling incompetent doesn't equal being incompetent.
Track your wins, evidence against the fraud narrative. Accept discomfort as part of growth, not proof of failure.
Milo, you've been looking at the performance metrics. What's your take on the database optimization issue?
The same question, the same fear.
Milo struggles internally between the fraud voice and Marcus's words. The imposter voice saying, "You'll sound stupid. They'll realize you don't belong." Marcus's voice, "Your job isn't to be the smartest. It's to contribute your perspective."
I think we're dealing with an N+1 query problem. I saw this at my last company. If we implement eager loading and add an index on the user ID foreign key, we should see a 60 to 70% improvement. That's exactly right. Can you lead the implementation? Yeah, I can do that.
Milo's voice shook slightly, but he'd spoken, and the world didn't end.
Milo led the project. The imposter voice was still there, but quieter.
So here's the implementation plan. Phase 1, we add indexes. Phase 2, refactor the queries. Phase 3, load testing. What if we run into locking issues during peak traffic? Good question. I'm not sure. Let me research that and get back to you tomorrow.
The old Milo would have panicked at not knowing, would have felt like a fraud. The new Milo realized not knowing everything doesn't mean you don't belong. It means you're human.
This is excellent work, Milo. Exactly why we promoted you. Thank you. I'm proud of how it turned out.
You seem different. Lighter.
I realized something. The imposter feeling doesn't go away, but I can choose whether to believe it. I'll probably always feel like I don't know enough, but that's because I'm surrounded by people who know different things than I do, and that's actually good.
That's my man. So you're keeping the senior engineer role?
I'm keeping it, and I'm going after that API redesign project. I might fail, but at least I won't fail because I was too scared to try.
Exactly. You've got this one. I believe in you.
Milo, how's it going? Better. I still have moments where I feel like a fraud, but I've learned to recognize them for what they are. Just feelings, not facts. That's the work. What changed? I started tracking my wins. Every time I solve a problem or help someone or ship a feature, I write it down. When the imposter voice starts, I read the list.
Milo keeps a list of his recent accomplishments on his phone's notes app to remind him when the imposter syndrome's voice calls. Wins. Database optimization, 72% improvement. Mentored Jamie through Authbug. Led API redesign kickoff successfully. Presented at Engineering All Hands. The list got longer every week. Evidence against the fraud narrative. Here's what Milo learned about imposter syndrome, the takeaway that changed his career and can also change yours. Lesson number 1. The feeling is normal, not accurate. 70% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point. Feeling like a fraud doesn't mean you are one. It usually means you're challenging yourself. Milo felt like an imposter because he was in a new role, surrounded by more experienced people. That's called growth, not fraud. Lesson number 2. Stop comparing your insides to others' outsides. You see everyone else's accomplishments and credentials. You feel your own doubts and insecurities. That's an unfair comparison. What Milo didn't see, Marcus still doubted himself sometimes. The senior engineer with the Stanford degree had failed his first project as a lead. Everyone has moments of uncertainty. Lesson number 3. Not knowing everything is not failure. Milo thought admitting "I don't know" would expose him as unqualified. Instead, it made him trustworthy. Real experts admit what they don't know. Frauds pretend they know everything. Lesson number 4. Document your wins. Imposter syndrome thrives on selective memory. You remember every mistake and forget every success. Writing down his accomplishments gave Milo evidence. When the fraud voice spoke, he had facts to fight back with. These lessons didn't eliminate imposter syndrome, but they took away its power.
3 months later, Milo led the API redesign, the biggest project of his career. But now, Milo knew the truth. He wasn't an imposter. He was a senior engineer, learning and growing, and that was exactly where he belonged. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean you're a fraud. It means you're brave enough to challenge yourself. The feeling is real. The fraud isn't.
In the next episode, Mira's closest friend makes every conversation about herself, and Mira finally learns the painful difference between loyalty and self-betrayal. Watch out for how Mira sets boundaries without feeling guilty.
These stories hit different, don't they? Because they're not just stories, they're mirrors. You see yourself in them. I'm Professor Brainwell, and I'm here to help you process what you just watched. So here's my question. What's the one thing from today's episode that you're taking with you? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And if someone in your life needs to see this, share it with them. Sometimes the right story at the right time changes everything. Subscribe to follow Milo and Mira's journey. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. See you next time.